The spate of murders in institutions of learning is generating a lot of conversation online. For more on this, I'm joined by Tonya Khoury from Acumen Media. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News tonight. Talk us through the type of conversations that are taking place on social media around these killings.
It's fascinating when you go and have a look at these particular statistics. Firstly, there's a huge amount of conversation surrounding the death of children and also the death of women. But just in the past couple of days, we've had stories like a 15-year-old girl was stabbed at KZN school by a fellow pupil. We've had 3 pupils arrested at Mossel Bay School for murdering of a grade 9 pupil. We had a pupil stabbed to death at Sebokeng School. We had a grade 6 pupil killed in a shooting incident outside Katlong School. We had that horrific story where the father killed his 4 children. And then we had that story where the grade 1 boy, that 7-year-old boy, was killed and then the father shot himself. It is appalling to see what our schools are becoming, number one. And we're becoming a little bit like America now. You know, we're going to need security gates and equipment to check for weaponry before you enter the school if we keep going at this rate. It's appalling that our children don't have a safe space to learn.
Okay, let's talk about the kind of sentiment that's coming through from social media users around those killings and stabbings.
Certainly, the conversation is hugely negative. The conversation takes primarily its place on Facebook and Twitter. That's where social media are venting. But it's a huge negative sentiment, over 60-70% negative. And it's almost as if poor Panyaza Lesufi gets called in every time we have some sort of horror. But it appears like nothing is changing. I mean, over the past week or couple of weeks, we've had 10,000 items written about either a death in the school or something that's happened to a child.
Mm-hmm. Are there specific areas, I know you mentioned the Gauteng MEC for Education, Panyaza Lesufi, are there specific areas in South Africa where you see a spike in conversation around specifically the killing of children and learners in both lower and higher institutions of learning?
You see, the thing is these stories make the news and then all of a sudden we have the conversation. And within 2 to 3 days, it dies down until the next horrific event comes up. So it depends. The whole country gets angry. It doesn't matter where the conversation comes from, but the whole country gets angry every time a child is killed. And recently, specifically in the past 2 to 3 months, we've started seeing this particular story come through, and we've also seen the story of the violence against women come through very strongly with things like Am I Next? So both our women and our children aren't in a safe space, and social media is fully aware of that.
Tonya Khoury, social media expert, joining us via Skype there. Thanks so much.